Last time on Willis's micro shooter reviews, this thing. But that was then, and this is now. Today, we're talking about Impaler, a small arena shooter made by one developer. No shitting, no joking. This game, it's just pleasant. Post-Void can get frustrating if you suck at it, but this is just a good time all around. There are maybe a few downsides, but they're very minimal. The story is practically non-existent. I think there's something about this skull guy trapping you in his dungeon or something, but it doesn't really matter. What does matter is the gameplay. In Impaler, you have two weapons, a gun you choose at the beginning of your run, and a pillar staff. The guns will be unlocked from completing certain achievements, so no fun for you until you put some effort in, young man. The guns don't need to reload, but they do overheat, kind of like plasma weapons in Halo. Once unlocked, there are numerous options to choose from. You could start with the default pistol, or pick the all-powerful harvester, or just blow everything up with a rocket launcher. In my professional opinion, the assault rifle is the best gun, as it fucks shit up, while having a decent bullet to overheat ratio. Now, the less interesting weapon, the pillar staff. This is a multitude of purposes, but excels at one thing, being the name of the game. By holding right-click, you can summon a spike from the ground, impaling whatever is above the spike. Impaling enemies gives you health, shooting them does not. You can also use these spikes to block approaching enemies. Secret movement tech, aim directly below you and summon a spike. It will propel you in the air, and allow you to double jump as well. When in the air, you have two options. Land on the ground and create a shockwave, launching some spikes, or land directly on an enemy, crushing their skull and adding to your health pool. Overall, the combat is simple but fun, lending itself well to the run-based nature of the game. As for enemies, there's a small number of the types you will run into, but there's no shortage on the amount that run to you. You'll start with killing succubi in the name of the Lord, and over time the game will add these happy little goblin men, these annoying flying bastards, and grenade chuckers. Sometimes you'll also run into stone heads and kamikaze slimes. I won't go into detail on these enemies as they are fairly basic in their implementation. A lot of them boil down to run straight toward the player or shoot projectile at player. I will, however, mention that most enemies will spawn with a circle of columns around them that must be broken in order to gain access to the money pinatas inside. After every stage, if you have the necessary amount of funding, the game will offer you the chance to buy an upgrade. These can do things like increase your health, increase spike damage, and even increase the amount of bullet time you have. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's bullet time in the game. I don't know how to trigger it, but it will sometimes activate and slow down everything around you. This can happen in very opportune times, and also very inadequate times. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid experience coming from just one guy. It's also gotten a good amount of post-launch support, adding even more video game to enjoy. Just like Post-Void is $2.99 on Steam and fairly easy to complete. If you like arcade shooters with a little bit of roguelite elements, but you don't want the visual hell of Post-Void, then definitely give this one a try.